And later on, I got a map of Baie La Fourche, and
More of a literary approach than a
right,
documentary.
right, and they were opinionated, you know, but that tells you something, you know, because I found some of the names that I found at Last Island were big plantation owners, like the Foleys in Napoleonville, and the Pugh family in Assumption Parish, and now in Thibodeau, and so these are all prominent people. Ellis from Magnolia Plantation. Ellis's daughter married Braxton Bragg, the Confederate general who lived right north of Thibodeau, along by La Fourche. So these were all plantation owners in the head, and so it was it was laid back, you know, but it was really the rich and famous that were there, and so that was why it received so much publicity and became such a legend. And there was all kinds of things. It really, if this, not because I wrote the book, but that story would make a wonderful movie. It's got it all. It's got the you know, the life struggle, the opulence of the times, the looting afterwards, the vigilantes going and hanging some of them, and the damage that was done, and the story of the survivors, and love stories. There was a beautiful story about Emma Mill, who survived and married. I have to look, this doctor, and they were from New Iberia, and they wrote to each other and fell in love, and he saved her life on the island. And then when they got back, they corresponded, and when he gave her her engagement ring, it was a diamond, and in the old convent in New Iberia, they scratched their name, diamonds were scratched glass on the window pane, and it's still there. And things like that. So it would make a wonderful movie, or even a documentary, or the actual story, because everything is there.
All the natural and human struggle and conflict.
Right. And intrigue, love, you know, and so that it was. And when I actually, I didn't write that much. I put what they said. I did the research and I pasted that in the book, and I make a few comments. I put this together. I let them tell their story. I started to write a novel about it, but I'm not too good at that kind of writing. It's she said, he said, you know.
You probably need a screenplay writer to take your book and turn it into a film script.
Right.
But I just want to talk to the camera a little bit. You know, we're here with Mr. Jimmy Southern. He's a naturalist, a culturalist, a conservationist, but most of all, he's an inspiration. And through our filmmaking here, we want to take his message and the story of his life as an artist and a lover of culture and a lover of South Louisiana. Not from a standpoint of just being here and living here, but also from a scientific and from a historical and a research perspective. We really want to thank you for taking the time to come and let us come and see you.
Listen anytime, because this is the message we want to get out, and you're pitching in by doing this, along with the rest of us.
Well, thank you very much.
I know his family, and I know the name, and you're all good people.
Well, we make films and videos and music out in California, and there's nothing more inspirational than working on a passion of yours. And we're definitely passionate about these bayous.
Let me ask you this. In California, do they say when you meet somebody, you say, "Oh, who's your daddy?" They don't do that. Huh? Down here we do that.
Not so much.
Because that's something, you know, like, well, who's your mama, who's your daddy, and
how your mama and them.
Yeah, but that's. I lived all over. You know, my dad was from Texas, but when I was away from here, sometimes I'd cry to come back home. And South Louisiana is like no other culture anywhere in the world. I even, when I would come back from go somewhere else, as soon as I get down into Acadia land, when I start hearing them talking, you said talking flat.
Talking flat.
and I say, ah, I'm home. Yeah, this is God's country, you know, and we
We're
fight.
gonna band with you to do everything we can to protect
we need
you.
all the help we can get.
We really
How long y'all gonna be in the area?
in the area. Benjamin has to leave tomorrow,
Okay.
but I'm gonna be here until the following Monday. And we also, you know, you may be me or may not be around, but we can always come back out and do a follow up.
Right, right.
If there's anything that you think of that you really want to get on tape.
I was thinking of doing something on the field work, field trip. You know, a short documentary, maybe looking at the Chapel Eye. Now, one thing I'm trying to organize is I want to get after we get going. I want to remember the deltaic remnants, and I talked about the St. Bernard. Well, we're trying to organize a field trip. It'll be 2 weekends where we start in Marksville, dealing with the old
River control structure.
the Biosali Sycamore, and then we come down to Tesh, look at that, go to St. Bernard, look at some of the remnants there, and show the different film of the different remnants, and showing, you know, and start at the oldest and work to the youngest, and then wind up at the Chapel Eye.
Well, through our efforts here, you know, we hope to inspire other young people who can hold cameras and come and tag along. You know, one of the big things out there is blogging, so people write about their own experiences and put it on the internet. So it really, there's not a cycle of, there's not necessarily a cycle anymore of collecting data, research, wait till it gets published, peer review. People just go out on their own. They shoot it, they collect it, they put it on the internet, and it really becomes part of a body of evidence that we are trying to build to really open people's eyes to how delicate the environment is, how irresponsible it's been managed or unmanaged in particularly the last 100 years, and what every person can do in their own lives, in their own activities, to impact the outcome. I started as a political operative here, so policy and elections and politicians have a great influence on how decisions have been made. And recognizing the imbalance between economic considerations and conservation considerations, I hope to try to achieve some more emphasis on the conservation, because we see that it's all about money. You know, you need money to do these restorations, and if the money continues to get sapped out into unnecessary $500 million lock projects, when maybe a floodgate would be just as well and cost 1/10, and maybe the rest of that money might be used. We see that in Chalmette and St. Bernard, people tried to get something done about the canal for 45 years, but it was too late. But after the whole place got destroyed, you had the impact of the public really galvanizing behind wetlands protection and protection of the environment. So now the Mississippi River Gulf Outlet is going to be closed. And guess what? There are now $5 billion on the table with the Army Corps of Engineers and the other entities to try to reorient the approach down there. I would not like to have Homa suffer the same, and of course, besides Homa, keep in mind, Chauvin, Cocodrie, Montague, Robinson, Boudreaux, Delorge, communities that have been here for hundreds of years. I would not like them to have to go through that, and all those people to have to go through that pain. If we can do something about it,
we better do something, because as it stands right now, if we get hit by a Rita between here and Morgan Coverdale, just to the west of us, it could really eradicate this whole place. There'd be nothing left. And God knows what the death toll would be. They can't get out in time.